just go to just go to Canon, really.
No, that's great.
Yeah. Call this meeting to order. You got, hey, recording in progress. Nice job.
Like a half layer.
This is the Monteau Revitalization Committee meeting, April 1st, 4 p.m. I'm sitting here, Dave Long, ex officio commissioner for this is Eric Cassidy's here. We've got all kinds of guests and people on Zoom, so thanks everybody for being here. Give me a second, I'm just gonna make my notes. This is all being recorded, but cut me off. So we've got a couple of handouts. Everybody here, Ray, you probably didn't get one, did you?
If you got an extra day.
Very cool. Actually, that's the agenda. The other ones will be right out. We had some extra ones, all right?
Okay.
So you wanna start with, what you have up there? Thank you.
Yeah, we, he's editing it out. We, in the past, we've been having, preliminary discussions, me, Dave, and whoever else is showing up all along. We've kind of been working towards this mission statement, and a vision. So we kind of put it on paper in full for everyone to review, discuss, contribute to. I don't know if I need to read it verbatim or we just wanna.
I don't think so. I think if everybody wants to skim through it and offer any opinions or revisions that you see, we'll give everybody a minute or two to rip through it. I've been through it. I like it. I think it's.
Eric, I saw all your comments from you. I read it and never actually
Sure, that's the whole
sat
point.
down and,
Yeah, no, I just,
you know,
anyone's
no.
able to contribute to the concept, it's just.
Today is not the closing date for comments.
No,
Okay,
no, it's the beginning date.
okay.
Yeah. I guess just for sake of efficiency, I'll just try to summarize, our vision would be, well, our mission is we are committed to uniting our community through the power of outdoor recreation, promoting healthy lifestyles for families, and generating sustainable income for our district, for the benefit of our district. By breathing new life into Monteau Ski Mountain, we strive to create a vibrant all-season destination that fosters adventure and community for generations to come. Our vision would be to host community events at Monteau to activate the mountain as a year-round gathering place, channeling at least a portion of the proceeds to ongoing improvements, reinvest into infrastructure enhancements, ensuring long-term growth, enjoyability, and accessibility for visitors, expand and diversify trail offerings, including maintaining the ski trails and reopening that we have, installing potential new glade trails for more backcountry skiing and experts, develop novice and intermediate mountain biking trails because the ones we have are very expert level, maintain and improve upon existing bike trails that we have, maintain and promote existing hiking trails for year-round exploration, and ideally create some summit vistas where we can, look at the views from. Because there are some really nice spots for views up there on both the Pinnacle side and Monteau side. Strengthen, revitalize the rescue and safety roads, widen and regrade the Bunny Hill. Upgrade facilities and amenities, develop additional parking on Mountain Lakes land for the lodge and events. We're going to talk about that a little bit further today, I think. Install a kiosk, we've talked about that, but we'll talk about more of that later. Build a pump track, that's another idea we have for kids. Source a rope tow for the Bunny Hill. Eventually get to a point where if we had a rope tow and everything else going, we would have some kind of solar powered lights on the Bunny Hill at night so that families could use it at night potentially. Revive and imagine the lodge. My idea, this was just me putting it out there, bring life back to the lodge as a community hub for relaxation and connection. I'd like to see something like the renovation of the basement turn into a brew pub at some point. And then foster sustainability and community ownership, use funds from the events and donations to drive continuous improvement. So that's the basis of the mission and the vision. As requested, we just wanted to make it more clear and, bullet pointed on paper for people. It's just a work in progress as we start the conversations out. So that's that document.
I think that's very well done, Eric. That summarizes kind of everything that we've been through over the last year or so, so. I think that's well put together, and certainly there's a lot to drive towards there, and I think that we're heading down that path.
This, toolbar is hiding, I think. There we go. Okay. Maybe we should talk about the trail cleanup concept at the end of the. Hey, Joey.
Absolutely. Alright, so you wanna hold on?
Yeah, maybe we could go back to that at the end. I feel like that's a proposal for a different idea altogether.
Sure. Ed was all, I talked to Ed, Page, we had gotten permission from the commissioners at our last commissioners meeting to go ahead with that up to $800 to spend on brush hogging up on the trails. I talked to Ed and he mentioned that he's really just waiting on things to dry out a little bit, but he feels comfortable if that's something that we can get rolling. He's also helping us out with some baseball stuff that we've got going on, and he was kind of hoping to attack this before baseball, which is in like, within 3 or 4 weeks, so. In a perfect world, if everything dries out and looks okay, we should be able to get cracking on that sooner rather than later. My thought was to, as we're talking to him, is to talk about this jumps way down to that Valley Road, the lot 285
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Have him kind of look that over and say, what does this
Well,
take, and if we can get a lot of that stuff chopped up, and then I know Steve Robbins has offered to help us out with chipping. But to take a lot of that buildup that's in there and be able to chip it and utilize that for flattening out, what's
Yeah.
there. There is a,
Is that the overflow parking lot that we had discussed?
Yep.
Times? Okay, great.
Yeah, we have a map of that actually too. but-
yeah, that's like a 5-acre piece, and it actually covers like the, where the tennis courts are, where the baseball field is, it's all kind of encompasses that one area right there. But to be able to tie that in, right now, there's a foot trail that walks through there, there's kind of some overgrown trails that go around where the river is, and,
Scott Rutherford just did some cleanup on the edge there.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of dirt, right?
Yeah, he had called and asked, he said, we're clearing up, and, he said, if you want, we can clear up some of the trees and stuff like that. And they did some of the clearing on the edge there, I haven't seen it since it's been
oh, that's
done,
great,
but they burned up a ton of stuff over there.
yeah.
Did he mention any of that dirt that he wants to get rid of? We could use that for flattening too.
I think he's gonna use all the
Oh.
dirt he's got over there. He's got a lot of areas to
Want
fill.
that? Thanks. Oh, there was 2, oh, you guys got yours. So yeah, he was gonna, figure out what good date to walk that off would be, and I told him that we would get in touch, and that would be something that we could meet him over there and go over kind of what we were thinking and what he was thinking, and see if we can't come up with an agreement for that. So that, as far as that parking area and that lot goes, since we're talking about it, that.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up
You're
now
pulling
on
that
the
up there.
map. So, this is Lodge Lane, here's the lodge, this is Valley Road. So there's this pull off in here that already exists, with trails that already kind of connect over.
Yeah.
So we're just talking about cleaning this up so that it could actually be suitable for more cars to get into. Right now, it's just kind of chaos.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Trucks could get in.
yeah, not that. But there's already, just a direct line basically to the corner, I have the drawing on here. And then there's already some level of trail that goes along the brook and then kind of pops out near the tennis court as well. So
Right.
there's already some infrastructure there.
Yeah,
Do you have any idea of the timing of that project? Just,
The parking,
yeah, that,
we were saying that if we're gonna have to brush hog for other purposes, we might just try to find out what's possible then too.
Right, you're right.
Although you just mentioned that Steve Robbins might help too, so,
it's sort of preliminary, I'm just curious as relation to the 27th weekend, that's all.
of July,
Yes.
yeah.
Hey, guys, I think we have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
I think Diane.
Thank you, Rich. I actually had a question about that area. I know that we're talking about clearing and working on trails, including hiking trails. I know a lot of people do walk through that area now. Um, I guess a couple of comments. One is that in this area near the lodge, there's been a lot of clearing. We've had 2 lots on Gateway. We've had 2 lots on Valley, the lot near Valley and French Pond. We've also had cleared trees on people's lots on Valley and Green. We have a lot of, as of everywhere, we have a animal highway, as we call it here in the neighborhood, with bears and deers and whatever. So I'm concerned about turning that area into some type of parking lot, and doing some more clearing prior to when we actually need to have those additional parking spots. What is the evaluation? What is the study of where we actually need to have those parking spots? I don't disagree that we need more parking. I just want to know before we start doing a bunch of clearing and or um additional work there.
yeah, so the idea was, basically to open it up so that we don't have to have any parking along, Valley Road. Last year when we were planning for the mountain bike event, the thought process was we were gonna have to have, vehicles parking all along the side of Valley Road. This parking area or that lot kind of combines with right behind the tennis courts and kind of sinks into all of those other trails, like you mentioned, that, have regular foot traffic on them now. So the idea being we could take that, and have a kind of a single entry point so that you could get in and out of that parking area, but not not to screw up the hiking trails in there. It's really just for ease of access to that area, and then also just for the additional parking that we believe that we will definitely need come this July event.
Dave, did we end up having any parking on Valley Road?
Very minimal, on Sunday during the day, but it was not
It
much.
wasn't like down the road.
Yeah, it was not much at all.
But that was in October.
That
right?
was
We're projecting
October,
Potentially more.
And the idea being this July event is going to be
So the main
definitely.
parking is relatively full.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yep, go ahead.
That area has already been cleared. We tried putting in some, wells in there about 5 years ago. And that area was cleared out, so there would be minimal tree removal to do that. But the other side of that too, it's gonna be extremely expensive because that's really soft area in there. And we're gonna have to bring in a lot of gravel, to make that a decent parking lot, and that's gonna be quite an expense to do that.
I
So-
didn't know
Right,
that.
and there's a stream also that goes through there, so we have to be consistent with our setbacks or kind of improving areas where there's wetlands. And I'm sorry, I have to step away. I have someone at my door.
That, well, that's a conversation that we'll have with the
Yeah, well,
contractor
we'd have to-
and
Yeah.
see what
Yeah,
that will
everything
entail.
comes down to cost at that point.
Right,
So is that then ask for Paige?
What's that?
Is that what you would ask Paige? like, how
yeah,
much
I
it
mean,
costs?
he's gonna come out to do the work up on the brush hogging. We got the approval for that, so while he comes out to do that, we'll ask him to look at that and get his thoughts on it. You put together a lot of photos for the
Yeah,
kiosk ideas. That's kind of a work in progress, and I think that'll probably be a post-event, kind of thing that we'll be able to get put together. But maybe late summer, early fall kind of thing.
You wanna go through those at all?
Yeah, just pull them up so that we can see.
Oh, nice.
So,
That's kind of what I was thinking about, rather than a three-sided kiosk, be cheaper and.
Yeah, with the
Cost
two
effective.
walls, like
Well,
two walls
I
on the
like that
side
better,
and
cause
one
just,
wall in the
even
back.
no side, just a post, it's, less expensive to build and
doesn't wanna.
probably serves the same
Yeah,
purpose. I
even
guess,
even just that is fine.
yeah, that looks very nice.
So everyone can see, so these are just like infrastructure and signage ideas that I was just trying to give a visual of, you know, in case we were gonna make another trail where it's wet, there's like these boardwalk things that exist all throughout the White Mountains there. This is a kiosk that has a little bench, I thought that was kinda nice, but
Oh, built-in bench.
this is tough, not a big fan of this. Another bridge right here in case we wanted to get over the brook, because from that parking that exists, now I didn't know it was gonna be an issue with gravel or whatever, but I've been parking there myself and just hiking over.
Yeah.
And there's trails that exist up the mountain
Oh,
to
yeah.
the pinnacle from there.
Yeah.
There's trails,
Everywhere.
infrastructure exists.
Yeah.
So if we just connect the dots, it'd be little by little. Here's another kiosk concept. And then, benches, a different kind of kiosk here. But benches, this is just an idea for like, in case we built a view, spot at either top.
Mhm.
And then, you know, signage, different types of signs that we could do for like, here's trails that way, or that, you know. These are all long-term ideas, just
Sure.
painting a vision. Different style bridge.
I think most of those spots up on the top there, and you could attest to it as good as anybody, are pretty sturdy ground.
Up top?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to get down, like that bench that you had up there showed it like going down
Into
into
the
the
ground.
I
earth.
think
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
mean,
foresee that happening
maybe
up
we
there.
should-
might have four legs.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be heavy so the wind doesn't blow it away.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, speaking to the views and the different spots, there up at the top, I mean, there really is, there's some gorgeous.
I can see
you-
it from
you can
here on
see-
that one.
Yeah,
I know it now, like the back, you know, like the back of my hand, but
Yeah.
there's a spot right up on the pinnacle side. Technically, it's on Moulton's land that we found out.
Yeah.
But it's now going into a trust, and I was gonna approach them and figure out if we can work with them to get a view, and maybe a bench up there.
Yeah.
Maybe we dedicate that bench to Moulton.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving the land back to the public.
right,
That was an idea I just had. So
and that's the view that you're looking at, and you can actually see
you can
these
see
lakes.
the lakes from right there. It's
Right.
amazing,
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, it's like worth every inch or every.
And the trails that connect from this Valley Road parking lot that you're talking about, are those, how soon do they connect to Moulton's land?
That's a great
There's
question.
a trail that I'm familiar with that's like quarter of the way up the.
The Bunny Hill?
The Bunny Hill.
Yeah, yeah,
Quarter
those
of the way
connect to
up,
it.
that goes up to Moulton, so.
Yes.
I guess I'm not familiar with the trails exactly behind the tennis court, but they're kind of interconnected.
Well, yes, sort of. Yeah, there's actually more trails that run parallel to the one that you're familiar with. And then there's like a switchback that goes up to that one, and then you go
Right.
over to the other one. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of exploring, so.
Cool.
so that leads into trail cleanup, unless anybody has anything else to talk about as far as that goes. With the trail cleanup, we walked all of the hiking trails that we've been maintaining, and I was flabbergasted to find that I didn't need to pull out the chainsaw. Yeah, everything was little small stuff, kind of picking up and moving on. So I think that this year is really a banner year to be looking at some of these Valley Road trails, looking at some other trails and saying, all right, let's keep the ball rolling here.
Yeah,
I see that area as the biggest opportunity, behind the baseball field, kind of interconnecting those trails and trying to tie them back in. It's beautiful, it's right along the brook, it's all pretty much there, it just needs to be kind of raked out and ironed out a little bit. So that's something that we'll organize as far as the trail cleanup goes.
I pulled up the document for that, if we wanna go over that.
Sure, yeah.
I could just run over it real quick again.
Yep.
Valley Road parking, we've already kind of talked to, expand the brook trail. So there is a trail that goes along the brook. I would say we could, you know, keep going with it and end up closer to the lodge, so it could be you know, rather than a 30-second walk along, it could be a 5-minute walk.
Yeah, I mean, it really, you can make it so that it ties right into where the old, you talk about it further down,
Yes.
where the snowmaking reservoir is.
Right.
It all ties right in
Yeah,
together. That's
Yeah,
what we
we
walked
might need
with
to
last
bridge
week.
over at some point,
Yeah.
but that's
Yeah.
a donation project in the
Right.
future.
Right now,
same
there's
with
just
the-
big pine trees that have fallen over and there's an intermediate and a beginner, pine tree that you can go
You
across.
need 2 trekking poles.
Yeah. My kids chose the advanced route and I took the intermediate.
Yeah, so the first 2 things on this list were the Valley Road and then the Pinnacle Trail connection.
Yeah,
Same with, there is just a loop that you can like walk around the reservoir.
right,
Might as well just
Yeah.
edge trim it back, just clean it up, it would take no time, but it's
Right.
worth doing.
yep,
Same with the ski mountain trails, we can, you know, start on the far left and then work our way back across as we go, if we're gonna open them up, I would say, so go the uphill route first, if you will.
so you're talking as you're standing at the bottom looking at the mountain?
Yeah.
Lookers left,
Lookers-
skiers
lookers
right,
left,
and lookers
skiers
left.
Yeah.
So that would be a good approach when we get Ed over there to look at it as well.
Yeah, bike trails, develop a route through Skiway Drive, or at least open up some of Skiway Drive, that's another thing we were gonna talk to Eddie Page about when he's got the crush up. Summit views, I've already mentioned that, there's beautiful views looking into the White Mountains from Monteau off the backside, and then there's a beautiful view on Pinnacle right there looking this way, and so I think both of those would be worth pursuing. Give you like the reward for doing a hike up there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, so that's that, and I think we should maybe we should pick a date now for the volunteering, try to.
I was thinking like last weekend in April,
I was gonna ask for the first weekend
first weekend in May.
in May, only because that other one's a birthday weekend for me, and I'm having company.
Maybe have a rain date.
Why, you don't work in the rain?
Oh,
No, he does work on the radio.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm-
you
I'm
want it
I'm
to
worried
be
about-
rain?
I'm worried about everyone else, you know?
I'd be worried about me.
Yeah. So like the 3rd or the 4th, you wanna do a Saturday or Sunday?
Yeah. I think that,
Oh, you wanna work 2 days?
yeah, I do.
No,
My goal would be to ask for Saturday volunteer, and whoever wants to show back up on Sunday.
Would it be more or less successful to tie it in with the road cleanup?
We talked about that last time, I
Yeah.
thought it would be, you know, you can't put 2 people in 2 places at once, you know, so I'd rather just get the roads done one weekend.
Yeah, cause you just take it away from each other.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I think, and I think there's,
Even if you did it on the 27th? That next day?
again, my goal was to push it for 2 days of, you know, a whole weekend of this, if possible. Maybe I'm overzealous, but I'll be there. So,
For,
2 days,
oh yeah,
you know,
yeah, like 5-3 and 5-4.
yeah, that's,
3 and 4.
I think that'd be, and then we could, if we wanna do a rain date of the following weekend or whatever, that's fine. But I don't think it matters for me.
What was the road cleanup? I was not at the prior meeting.
Days enough?
What?
Would be 2 days
No,
enough?
no, we
You
could
have to
keep
go back
working
next
up
week.
forever, but I'm just, you know, from
Start that.
start that, yeah,
Should be dry by then.
that's the hope.
Mountain Lakes
No.
does a trash road cleanup on the 26th. They do it annually.
Oh, like a trash pickup on like a valley road or in the
Along,
whole district.
along all the
Yeah.
roads, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, in the district, okay.
Day pickup or whatever, so that's part of the rec.
The 3rd and 4th do not work for them. 27th would work though.
And the 10th and Mother's Day is the 11th.
Yeah.
Well, I'll help you.
Others are invited.
Yeah.
We'll help. Get out cooking.
I'm really good either which way, I guess I'm impartial, I'll have to just schedule around whatever whatever the group's pleasure is, I could do any which way. Do you guys wanna say the 10th, say the 10th, and then,
I don't know, yeah,
stick with 3rd and 4th? Well, the 3rd, so we're gonna market it as the 3rd. If you can come on, they're not gonna try to ask, you know, we can tell people we're gonna be out there for the 4th also.
yeah, well, my thought was if we did it on the Saturday, we could, at the end of the day, if there's pizza and stuff, hey, we're gonna be here tomorrow.
Right.
Let's come back.
Or I guess put it out there as come when you can, right?
Yeah,
If it's the
right,
3rd
right.
and the 4th, then maybe some people can't do
there
Saturday,
you
but
go,
will
yeah,
would come
yeah.
on Sunday. Alright,
I think on that weekend too, it'd be good time to find out who is interested in being on a, you know, contact list for random
Yeah, we could
word
keep
project, you know, this is my dream, working by myself out there the last 4 years, it's like, the work group, you know, so there'd be you know, just a team, we'd be in touch, we'd say, hey, I'm going out, I'm
we've
going out
got a,
such day, and,
yeah, developed a pretty good email list,
Oh, yeah,
I think,
okay.
for volunteers, like signups after
Oh,
last
yeah.
year. So we can go back to that. Trail cleanup, so email, and then just the regular D-mail. So I can work on getting a flyer put together for that meeting. I'll ask my wife to do it.
I was gonna say, yeah, I gotta do that.
I mean, the only other thought, oh, wait, no. The 17th and the 18th, if we wanted to push it back further.
I'd rather get
Okay,
rolling.
yeah, okay,
boy, it's graduation weekend.
Yeah, it starts getting,
okay, yeah, yeah.
Entice them with a bonfire at the bottom of the hill
I don't know.
with your pizza.
Oh, we do have that one, fire, you're right, we could do something like that.
alright, so 3rd and 4th, I'll work on that, and then if we get the information out to you guys, you can send it as a D-mail to the community, and then we'll send it to our volunteer list as well. It'll probably be a duplicate, but.
Okay.
And I'll reach out to the Conservation Commission if you wanna do some co-collaborating
Yeah.
on this work.
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Alright, we talked about that. I had Monteau page on the website back on here. The only thing I would say is we gotta get that camping back on there now. As soon as it goes off, it'll have to go back on.
Oh,
So you can make that page live again.
okay. Yeah, I'll look at that.
Skiway Road, the update to go over as far as that goes.
Well, I wanna get that quote for Skiway Drive, and we did have a conversation with the new attorney, so you should get a response soon.
Do you mind showing it on the map?
What, Skiway Drive?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
If you don't mind, thank you.
So how are you gonna go up how are you gonna get to Skiway Drive without going on our road?
That's a good point.
How's that gonna go, Anthony? And you know.
Is that Laurie?
Alright, that's
Hi,
good.
Laurie.
Yeah, you came up to my house and apologized, so I'm just trying to wonder how you're gonna go Skiway Drive.
Okay, that's not a discussion now because that's in our attorney's hands. They have, we had a conversation with them today, they're drafting a letter, and that will go out to you, soon.
But that's Skiway Drive,
So
we're
should we not talk about Skiway
Terrace.
Drive then?
No, they,
So that's
it's
it.
all part of the, I mean, she started off by saying, well, how are you gonna get to that? That's
But
a,
it's on the piece of paper, Skiway Drive, I was just asking how's that gonna work? Are you
It's-
gonna use that part of the bike trail?
If you do Haverhill, New Hampshire GIS,
Yeah, I
it'll
know,
pull
I
up the
know.
map.
At some point, we're gonna talk about some of these.
okay, the thing is, you can pull up the GIS, this is a legal matter, and it shouldn't be something we're discussing now.
We shouldn't talk about Skiway Drive.
Well, I can show him the map, but
Alright,
So you
alright,
just-
you're looking for discussion now, and you don't want to discuss this.
So in theory, Eddie
Think
Page
about
can-
Yeah,
conversation.
the map is public, anyone can go look
Yeah.
at.
And they can, right, but
Well,
it's,
so what are you saying, that the attorney's getting back to us?
yeah, the attorney's gonna get back to you very soon, and then we can continue that side of the conversation.
Yeah, cause
But
I
for
need to
now-
know in the next few
But
weeks.
for now,
So should we make a motion to not have Eddie Page look at Skiway Road at all until the legal matters are
Yes.
solidified? Please,
Definitely.
thank you. Dave, sorry, I was looking at Eric.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
we
that's
don't make
probably-
motions
I think
or
that's
anything,
best, though.
it's just a.
Yeah, but we need to make sure it's legit,
Yeah.
well,
to not discuss
that
it,
is,
not talk
that
about it
road
until-
is, yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
because
I'm
it's
not getting
accessed by, right? We can't discuss it, so if
Okay.
we can't discuss it, we can't. Right? Just trying to make things,
What are you trying to make?
just trying to make things legit and make sure we're doing the right.
I
right
gotta
thing
move
for
on to the
everybody.
next item, Dave.
Alright,
Moving on, back,
No legit motion needed?
we were just,
I just said that's.
Is that
he
true?
just asked, he asked not to talk
We were
about
just
it.
Just wondering if some
Talking about
community
it.
members would feel better if it was a legit motion that we table until legal matters are taken care of.
Yes.
so this,
You
This
can make,
committee
you can make a
is
motion,
for-
make a recommendation to the commissioners. And that's how most, committees do things.
Committees can make their own motions though to do
Alright.
things correctly though, right?
I'm telling you what the rules are.
Sure.
You can make a, motion to recommend to the commissioners.
I don't know if that's even necessary, I'm just asking for a motion for us as a committee to table it until the legal matters have been taken care of.
Sure.
Committees are
The
allowed
legal,
to
the legal matter is in the commissioner's hands.
correct, but
the
this is for
idea
us to not
being-
discuss topics that are related to that until the legal things are handled. I'm not trying to make a
So
big
the
deal.
idea
I
being-
wouldn't complete it.
all we're talking about right now is having Eddie Page walk on
Yeah,
that road or
and there
not
are
walk on
ways
that
to
road.
get to
We're not
that
allowed to
entire
discuss it
section of the road.
unfortunately, so. I mean, if he doesn't access it by the private drive, then he can look at it all he wants, but if he accesses it through the private drive, then he doesn't have permission to do so, so we have to make sure we're doing that the correct way.
Okay, and there's no determination either way
Yeah,
or,
you can-
so it's, you're speaking in something that hasn't been established yet,
But
so.
we are allowed to make motions as a committee.
Sure.
To do what we feel is right, so do we do that or not? So I offered up a motion,
Sure.
so do we
Alright,
follow that
so
motion?
is there
or
a
not?
second? So we need a second for the motion.
I think you have to be one of the committee members.
You gotta be a committee member.
Technically. And I don't know who's on the committee and who's not.
We really just have three of us as of right now, but we're always accepting more.
Yep,
I don't, there's no second here, I think we're just gonna move on.
you can't, you have to, I don't think that's
You have a
fair.
motion on the floor.
I mean, I think,
There's no second,
But there's no second.
so it's just over.
this is the problem with some things, it's not, it
We're
doesn't
not,
have, it's
you don't
not.
wanna talk about it, and we're not gonna talk about it though, so it's just, we can just move forward, right?
I don't know, I don't know, I just don't know what the right thing is, but I did offer up a motion and that's,
But,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, I'm just trying to be reasonable to everybody here. 'Cause
understood.
There is a problem unfortunately,
What is the problem?
with the way the community views certain things like this being looked at, cause if Eddie does end up on that road.
Yeah.
And there is a problem, then it's gonna make things worse, so we just wanna make sure as a committee that we're handling things the
But
way.
we're just talking about walking on,
I know.
like,
But you
public
can't do
property.
that, but not on a private road, so.
Okay, and we're getting off
I guess
into
we can't
determination
talk
that we
about
Yeah,
can't,
but
Joey,
we should-
I
we
guess
gotta move on.
You're not fully,
Backcountry Alliance is walking the property, on May second.
Yep.
At 11 a.m.
yep,
So that'll be the day before trail cleanup, that'll be good to be able to get out there and walk around.
that's also why I wanted to do it on the
Yeah.
third, so that I can meet with him
Yeah.
before we
It'll
start.
be a
going.
Monteau weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Is that something you're gonna be at, Eric?
Yeah.
Is that something that?
You're welcome to be there.
Well, thank you, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can fit that in.
So that's the plan for that, I'm planning on being there for that walk as well, I wonder if it makes sense to have Ed come on that day, if we're gonna be walking all of the same kinds of trails.
I think that would make
Um,
perfect sense.
Yes and no, only because a lot of what Granite State wants to do is not really work on the pre-existing trails. So,
Oh, okay.
you know what I mean, like
More
it's
of
kind
the
of
backcountry
two
glade
different,
kind
yeah,
of
they
stuff.
wanna look at the in-betweens
Okay.
and the land that we own on the Pinnacle side, which is,
Yeah.
you know,
Those are different use, yeah.
yeah. Cause there's like hiking trails that they could like cross-country ski and just cut down a little.
Sure, alright, so I'll leave that alone,
But when you do have a time with him, I like to meet him too.
sure, yeah, no, I'll put that out to the group. Alright, perfect, we've been through mission, we've been through trail cleanup, we set dates, 3rd and 4th, we'll work on flyer and that.
Joey, did you get the mission statement?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. I know you wanted in the beginning.
Are you comfortable with saying, the kiosk is something that kinda takes a back burner to after the next July event? Should we try to scramble that in earlier?
I don't know if we should rush, but there was some community members that did seem like they had interest in helping build it, but we might not need to put it off.
Right.
Might just wanna reach out to a few of those community members.
Yeah,
As part of the discussion last time.
yeah, Ian said he
I
would
thought
build
we were
it.
gonna present, I have some images, but, we should have like a materials list. Or
Yeah.
maybe not, I mean, if we're donating,
Yeah, it's all
but at least we
donated
should
and-
have like the specific build that we were gonna do and location to
Yeah.
present to the commissioners, the next one.
Cause we don't want it to be, not what we want.
Right.
We want it to be the right
Right,
thing,
so
but the
it wouldn't
community
be,
members.
it's not like in a rush, but we should do it by May. But, and it doesn't need to be done by July, but it would be good to be able to finalize the design and location where we're all happy with it.
Yep.
That we
Mr.
can-
Chair,
Yeah.
this is something we would make a motion, to present to the commissioners, that somebody wanted to donate time and, materials, install a kiosk. And then present that to the,
Presentation, and when's your next commissioners meeting?
it is the,
We don't have one yet, do we?
yeah, I just did the schedule yesterday, cause I got finally got it from the, town, and, it will be the first Monday of, next month.
Of May or April.
I'm sorry, the second, it's gonna, I think it's either the 14th or the 15th on that, I'm not sure on that, but we'll.
Of this one.
Yes, this one, yeah.
14th or 15th.
Has the kiosk been cited yet?
Like the location,
Yeah.
that's what we were gonna, we kinda have
The-
an idea.
So it's kinda like a first step is where it's gonna go. I mean,
Well,
you
the
gotta build it,
basic
but-
premise is over by where the signs went up, the mountain bike signs.
Well, that's why I just wanna make sure that that's in process, because you're all set to build it, you don't know where it goes yet, it's,
The location is.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
step one.
Okay.
Do we solidify, location and materials first and then ask the volunteer and then go to commissioners? Or is that order wrong? So
I think
that,
he
like,
was good with, Ian volunteered the
I don't
time,
wanna-
he said,
yeah,
he said,
time, not materials,
not
right?
materials, I had offered to donate the materials, Eric said he would match, so we're gonna take care of that part of it. So it's a kind of a group thing, so basically,
I think if we have the design and the location, we don't need to go material list over it, it's just design and location, so
Right.
we, the couple images I had, we could come up with a build plan off that, or we can find a plan that we all like.
And other community members might be willing to donate, and the conservation commission could always put in a little bit of money, we don't have a big budget, but we could always put in a little bit of money if needed, so.
Yeah, well,
I guess we
and-
should like look
and
at
we'd
that.
throw like a QR code up to your guys' website
That'd
and
be sweet,
get
yeah.
your volunteers that way on the, on the kiosk.
you mentioned that you have plexiglass,
Yes,
do you have it?
yeah,
So the cover,
I'll get that
Okay,
in the state.
yeah. Alright, so with donated materials and donated time, we're looking at putting in a kiosk. So we wanna have a motion to recommend to the commissioners, with a map, with a location and a sketch of what the kiosk is gonna look like. So I'd make that motion that we recommend that to the commissioners.
Cool, I'll second that.
okay. So then we would say, all in
Any
favor?
further discussion on that?
Yeah.
Fall right back into that.
We're just gonna-
Any discussion?
Does the kiosk plan on having the Pinnacle Trail on it as well, all the trails?
So the
Everything
trail
that we-
map as of right now has the Pinnacle Trail up to a point, right, up to Moulton's Land. Or did that just get nixed entirely? I don't really remember.
Trail map, which trail map?
The one that's on
Trail Forks?
Trail Forks, yeah.
I think it goes the whole way.
No, it's not, I'm
It's
pretty
not
sure
on
that the
there.
Pinnacle is not on the trail for
Oh,
it.
Yeah.
Oh, so the
So
Pinnacle,
that's not currently
No,
on.
that was just for the race day, for the race weekend. And I made sure that it was taken down.
And then those things that you wanna put up at the lodge, is it gonna have a map on it of the existing trails?
The kiosk you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that won't have Max's or Richard's on it?
Correct. I mean, it's gonna be it's able to be amended as needed, you know, like basically it'll all be behind plexiglass, it'll have the information, there's some other things that we've thrown around at different meetings.
We could
So
put some,
if we put on, you know, if we update trails and
Right.
update a map or get a better map,
Yeah.
you showed up.
You
We were
even,
on Zoom before.
I snuck in.
I didn't see.
Yeah, Rick.
even daily conditions, don't ride today, it's muddy, you know, or it's off inside.
we could put some temporary quote signs up too.
Yeah,
Trailhead
in the springtime and.
Yeah.
Of those areas, just to make sure.
For
I get a
one,
motion, and you get a second.
Yeah, this is the discussion.
I know
Yeah.
that you're getting off in other areas, and
Yeah.
if you wanna close that up.
I just brought up this map for the discussion again. Here's the lodge, this is where we have some, I put like a concept of where it might go, where the parking is somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's just a general
Yeah.
concept. But if we wanna get out there and like,
Yeah, nail it down, put a stake in
put
there.
a stake in the ground, say, here's what we think, and let
picture.
the commissioners take to see it, then we could do it that way.
Alright, well, that's easy enough, I'll work on that side of it, get a stake in the ground, get a picture. You've already got the idea for the kiosk, I think we can narrow that down to a few, and then make that. So,
Yeah, okay.
alright, so anybody opposed to that idea of presenting that to the commissioners? All in favor? Aye. Alright, so we'll work on getting that for the 14th or the 15th, whenever that next commissioners meeting is. Thanks for the push, I was gonna push it off. That's all I had jotted down, any other discussion, comments, questions?
I was curious about the two bridges referenced in the, this is under the Valley Road digital parking lot. Need one or two bridges, that's just in those trails you guys are to the brook?
Yeah, over the
Okay.
brook
That's
area.
in my vision or whatever, that's just an idea of like, you know, if we wanted to expand along the brook a little.
Yeah, I just-
We'd have to like crisscross over it.
I just had no idea about whereabouts those
Have you ever
were.
walked around on those trails, like behind the ball fields?
No, I never made it past the reservoir.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome back there, it's a really,
Yeah, I look
really
forward
neat
to
area,
looking
it's
at that in
pretty,
terms of-
pretty flat,
Level walking and biking and things like that.
yeah.
Okay, I guess that was my only question.
Anything else, anybody out there in Zoom have any questions?
Yeah,
No.
I do, if I could, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Randy Berenson. The goals that you guys had set, I'm wondering if you can fine tune it, if you will, as time goes on here, to include maybe short-term goals and longer-term goals. I think you kind of have it lumped into one, if I'm not mistaken. It's a little hard to read from out here. But I think people would like to have some expectation of what might be coming in the next year, 2 or 3 versus year 7, 8, or 9. And I think it would help people to understand what the real vision is. And also making that public to people would be helpful as well, so that people understand what your objectives are.
Yeah, that's a good point, thank you. I can work on, you know, at least divvying up some of what's in there into like another,
Yeah.
you know, short-term, long-term.
Make it short, yeah, okay.
That's a good idea, thank you, Randy.
If you could put this on the website for this,
Yeah,
I know you've got the website, I was just looking at it, but if you could put these documents on there so that the mission statement, the goals and stuff like that.
I'm happy to do that, and my question would be, would all the commissioners need to validate that before it gets put on the website?
I think you could bring it up at the commissioners meeting and just say, yeah.
Okay,
and,
I
yeah.
just, one time I put something on the website, I got in trouble, so I'm not gonna do it.
That's a whole different story, come on,
Yeah, it's
Eric.
the same thing to me.
There's only one way to learn, that's the hard way.
Did somebody else have
Really?
something?
Yeah, really.
Is this being recorded?
Yes, it is.
forgot to ask, sorry.
Okay,
Alright, seeing nothing else. Make a motion to adjourn. 4:46.
I'll second.
Opposed? In favor? Aye.
I didn't hear.
Thank you.